Then we have the mass of the solid disk. So the solid disk, we have to find the cross-sectional area because we are given what? 12 kilogram per meter squared. So pi 0.3 squared multiplied by 12. Okay, so 3.393 kilogram. And then finally, the mass of the hollow disk. So this is again pi multiplied by 0.1. And then we multiply by 12. Zero 0.377 kilogram. Okay, so now we have all this information. Okay, right. I will have this diagram here so we can refer to it easily. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to consider the what? Horizontal rod. Okay, so I for the horizontal rod. Okay, so let me get this formula. Okay, so I for the horizontal rod, we know we can use 1/12 ml squared plus md squared. We know for the horizontal, d is equal to 0 because the horizontal rod, right, is exactly at the what? The pin at O is at the center of what? Gravity, yes or no? Okay, so this will be equal to 1/12. Horizontal rod is 2.4. The length is equal to 0.8 squared. Okay, so 1/12. That's by 2.4. 1/12. That's by 2.4. That's by 0.8. That's by 0.8. It's equal to 0.128 kilogram meter squared. Okay. Then we are going to consider the vertical rod. Okay. So vertical rod, we are going to do the quick way, not the quick way, but we can just do I vertical rod. We can use the 1/3 what? Okay, we can use the 1/3. Once you use the 1/3 ml squared, you don't need to consider the what? Md squared. Are we clear? Okay, so this will be equal to 1/3. The mass is equal to 4.5. The length is equal to 1.5. Okay, so 1/3 is equal to 3.375 kilogram meter squared. Okay. Then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to consider the solid disk. Okay, so the solid disk, we have to use this. Okay, we have to use this diagram over here. So by looking at the solid disk, okay, which formula do we use? Do we use IXX, IYY, or do we use IZZ? Right? Which one will you use? So when you look at this, don't panic, okay? So in order to use how do I know which axis to use? Yes or no? Right? You draw the what? The rotation moment, okay? So over here, this is going to do a rotation about what? X-axis, right? This is going to do a rotation about y-axis. This will do with a rotation about z-axis. Yes or no? So when you look at your diagram over here, if coming out is z, this thing will rotate which way? Right? And if you look at the curvature from here, it's equivalent to what? RZ. Yes or no? Right? That is why you use what? IZZ. You will see the same problem when in your 2 P04 when Dr. Koshi teach you about bending moment. Exactly the same. Are we clear? Okay. So from here, we know that we have to use what? IZZ. Okay. So I of solid disk, so the IZZ is equal to what? Half mr squared plus by what? Md squared. Okay. So we know, you can see, right? So we know that this is equal to half. The mass of the solid disk we calculate is 3.393. The radius is equal to 0.3 plus by the mass is equal to 3.393. Multiply the distance now. So now the distance is equal to what? 1.5 plus by what? 0.3. And then you square. Okay. Right? Because the distance, the d distance is from where? From the what? We clear? Okay. So from here, it's just having fun now, I think. Okay, so half. So it's plus by 3.393 times by 1.8. Okay. It's equal to 11.146 kilogram meter squared. And the last one, we are going to consider the hollow disk. Okay, so let me zoom up so you can see the hollow disk. So I for the hollow disk is equal, the formula is still the same. So this is equal to half. The mass is different now, 0.377. Radius is different, 0.1 plus by the mass, which is 3.393. The d distance is the same because the center of the radius or center of the circle for both the hollow and the solid disk are the what? Are the same. Okay. So this will be equal to half I get a funny number. I know why it's funny. Because this is not funny. Okay. So this is equal to 1.223 kilogram meter squared. So now we have everything. We can assemble I will be equal to, so all the values that we have, except the last one. So 0.128 plus by 3.375, 0.128 plus by 3.375 plus by 11.146 minus by 1.223. So this is equal to 0.128 plus the 3.375 plus 11.146 minus 1.23 is equal to 13.426. Okay. Okay. Go for a 5 minutes break. We come back again. Okay, go for a 5 minutes break.